for the record, I went into the jury room and talked to the jury. I asked them what was going on. And they have told me that they have a verdict on one and that there is no way, whether I have them come back to sleep, whether I have them have dinner and they talk again, no way whatsoever that the people are going to change their minds so as to render a verdict as to one of the counts. So that's where we're at.
Their position right now, just so I understand, is there's a verdict on one and a kind of a hung on the other?
Yes. And that they will never, ever change their minds. Ever.
I appreciate their saying that.
They are voting their consciences, and we can't ask them to do anything more. I specifically asked if, we come back, if we sleep on it, if we do whatever. And the answer is still no, 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 and no. Every question I asked, it was no, we're not going to change our minds. We're voting our conscience. This is what we firmly believe. And I said, well, talking about it with each other is not going to sway your mind. No, we've talked about it, and these people have said out loud, we are not amenable to this. We believe we sat through the trial, and this is our firm and honest belief, and we cannot change our minds.
2 hours is not enough time to declare.
I can't make them. I can make them continue to deliberate, and if it doesn't go anywhere, how does that do anything?
Because Judge, I've had at least 3 different cases where they say, we cannot reach a verdict. You make them go back and deliberate, and they reach a verdict. It happens all the time. I don't know why. No, but it's been 2 hours. It hasn't been 2 days. It's been 2 hours.
I don't know, Judge. It was a 6-witness case, and I realize it ran long, but it wasn't that long a trial. Really, the testimony wasn't very long. So at this point, I don't see a point in having them sent back. If I don't know.
It just, I appreciate that they don't think they can reach a verdict, but at 2 hours, to let them hang after 2 hours is...
I don't think that punishing the jury because they have convictions based on the cases you presented is a valid... Well, you are, because they're saying, based on the evidence presented by the state and by the defense, they have become convinced of the rightness of their position, and that they're not willing to listen to other people saying, well, no, you're wrong at this point. They are convinced that those positions are correct. Now, who voted what or whom, I don't know.
Right.
Okay? I just know that all of them in unison kept saying no, and yeah, they've already said they're not going to say that. It was like they only agree to certain things, and that is all they agree to.
I absolutely appreciate that, Judge, but I still stand fast to...
Yeah, but it's my
2
call.
hours is not nearly enough time. I still think you need to send back directions that they need their decision needs to be unanimous, or I even think it's too early for an Allen charge, Judge, if you wanted to do that, but I don't think we're holding them hostage. They were asked if they could do this particular duty, and they've tried for 2 hours. I appreciate that they were here for 3 days or 4 days when they were told they would only be here for 2.
I'm not worried about that,
but
Mr. Dawson. My problem is this. If you have people who are so convinced, based on the presentation of the evidence from both you through your cross-examination and the district attorney through their direct examination, that one of you holds the correct answer and they're not willing to move off of that, then I cannot tell them, well, keep staying here till you do. Because then basically I'm telling them they have to change their verdict, and I'm not willing to do that. I'm not willing to tell them, hey, it's better that you get a verdict than to have a hung jury. It's not better. It's whatever is truly in their conscience and what they truly believe.
And I'm not saying that we're making them reach a verdict, but we're making them try for more than 2 hours.
They're still in there arguing, by the way, so it's not even more than 2 hours. They're in there still arguing.
Fair enough.
And when I went in there, I forgot to mention, they asked me about whether one count was a felony versus a gross misdemeanor. I asked them to look at their instructions, that would tell them all they needed to know.
And Judge, at this point, they've made their opinions clear, and I mean, we've had juries go out for 5 minutes and come back with a verdict.
Right, and
Or
we've had
hung.
right, and we've had. Oh, I've never had a judge
or
allow a
not
jury to
guilty.
hang after 5 minutes.
Or not guilty,
Or-
but they have been gone for a couple of hours, and we would submit it to your discretion, Your Honor.
2 hours and 42 minutes to be precise.
I thought they went out much closer to 3:30, but I could be wrong about that.
I thought it was
3:12. Okay, so it's been
Okay.
2.5 hours. I appreciate that this was a somewhat short in evidence trial, but I just don't think that they've really been.
okay. Find me the Allen language, and I'll give them the Allen charge. But that's it. And then if they still say it's not going to happen, then it's not going to happen, and they're going to render that verdict. So, I don't know. I don't have my any Allen.
I don't.
language.
I didn't have an. I don't have one.
I understand. You got to find it.
Yeah, I'd have to go back to my office, Judge.
Well, that's
in
what
order-
phones are for. Call somebody and ask them in your office to bring it.
I don't think anybody probably is. I mean, my team chief is certainly not there. So, yeah. Do you guys know anybody? Dave, might be there?
Yep.